Welcome back to G-Man-P, the Great TV. If you tuned in, hit a like, share, and subscribe. If not, we ain't doing no tripping. I appreciate the new subscribers too. Now we getting into it, ladies and gentlemen. That I'm about to show a pattern of corrupt activity that these officers had, and these were vice squad people, and I'm about to show you that it's a pattern that Columbus, Ohio, gives these officials positions that's corrupt. Now, what we're talking about is the two Columbus vice officers arrested by federal agents. We're going to show you the picture before we get into it. This was the boss man. You see him? Clowns of the day. Give them stars. Look at the clowns. Okay. Two Columbus vice officers were arrested Tuesday by federal agents. It comes after a long investigation into corruption of the now defunct vice squad of the Columbus Police Department. The two are accused of a host of crimes involving bars and strip clubs. Stephen G. Rosser, 43, of Delaware County, and Whitney R. Lancaster, 57, of Columbus, were each arrested without incident this morning and appeared in federal court this afternoon. Those names might sound familiar. Both men were fired in 2019 after an internal investigation said they set up famed adult actress and best-selling author Stormy Daniels. She was accused of touching undercover cops against state law while on tour in Columbus. Her July 2018 arrest was dismissed 12 hours after she was booked. She later sued and settled for more than $400,000. Look how the taxpayer money is being used. While the federal charges are not related directly to Daniels' arrest, the crime still centers around strip clubs. The indictment alleges that these two former law enforcement officers abused their badges and deprived individuals of their constitutional rights, said U.S. Attorney David M. D. Villers. We will root out any alleged bad actors acting under color of law and are grateful to the vast majority of officers who do the honorable work of protecting us and the Constitution. According to the indictment, in March 2015, Rosser was involved in a physical fight with an individual at Nick's Cabaret, a gentleman club on East Dublin Granville Road. Rosser allegedly represented that he was acting in the course and scope of his employment as a police officer during the fight and in the days that followed. The incident alleged that Rosser conspired with others to deprive other participants in that fight of his civil rights by having him seized and searched without probable cause, in violation of the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. We're going to stop right there. See, Ohio, they do that a lot. They illegally search and do search and seizures with no probable cause. They good at, that's what they really do. They use that. So if you don't know your amendments and your constitutional rights and your civil rights, you're being robbed of your rights every day if you don't know, if you don't read up on the Constitution, if you don't read up on the civil rights, you're getting robbed. You're getting, hell, there's probably people in jail today that shouldn't be in jail because they got in jail off of false pretense. based in part on a report that Rosser wrote regarding the fight. Officers arrested that individual in April 2015, and he was detained at the Franklin County Jail for approximately 5 days before the charges against him were ultimately dismissed. And we're going to hold up right there. We're going to hold up right there where it say, based in part on a report. See how I'm saying how they'll get these reports where the police or the vice squad, the FBI, they have to write when they come, if they have something against somebody, you got to write this stuff out. What he did and what they'll do is these are patterns that they do in Columbus. See, they hire corrupt people, and these are the patterns that they do. They lie on government paper, lying about what really happened. That's happened a lot. There's probably people in jail right now that didn't even they're in jail off of a lie, because who's going to believe them? Are they going to believe him, or are they going to believe the government official? That's the color of law and the type of games that they play. You got to be smart up here to defeat them. We're going to show you right here. Here's Rosser and here's Lancaster. He was the head of the vice squad. He was the main man. This dude, he just run around and abuse his power, think he can do whatever because he got a gun and a badge and he a federal agent. You understand? This is the guy that was the boss. He was running the vice squad. This guy right here. This guy right here, he was just doing whatever he wanted. He was the boss of the vice squad, and this was his little minion. The indictment also alleges that in April 2018, Rosser, Lancaster, and others conspired to deprive one of the owner of the Dollhouse, a gentleman's club on Carl Court, of his civil rights by seizing and searching him and his vehicle without probable cause. Again, see, we're going to go right there again. Vehicle without probable cause, again, in violation of the Fourth Amendment. So we're going to stop right there. See, the city police, the sheriff, they all like doing this, because if you don't know your constitutional rights, how are you going to know that they're breaking the law? They're doing illegal activity just to get somebody in a situation. That's what I'm saying. This corrupt patterns that Ohio, they employ corrupt, racist people. You understand? And that's what I'm saying. They've been doing this for a long time. Ever since I was young, they've been doing this to me. And they kind of left me alone because they knew I knew my rights. But then they was playing upon me, thinking that I didn't know what I was talking about. You understand? But this is the corrupt patterns that they do in Ohio. Law enforcement and government officials. Without probable cause, they'll search you. So you better be up on your toes when you come in Ohio. Because 9 times out of 10, they're illegally searching and seizuring stuff. Finally, the indictment alleged both defendants conspired to commit wire fraud by routinely reporting false and fraudulent special duty hours. Not only was they breaking the law and illegally search and seizure, they were stealing money from the government, lying about. If you'll lie about on a piece of paper to steal money to get more money for your check, what else would you do? Specifically, in January 2018, in Fort Rapids Hotel on the east side, restaurants and indoor water park complex on Corporate Drive in Columbus suffered a fire sprinkler break that led to extensive flooding. As a result, the Columbus Division of Fire ordered a 24-hour per day fire watch by qualified personnel to monitor the site for further damage and safety issues. It is alleged that Rosser and Lancaster, these two clowns, the big boss man of the vice squad and the minion, It is alleged that Rosser and Lancaster routinely reported to the Fort Rapids ownership group that they were working special duty during dates and times that they also reported they were on duty working the regular shift as CPD officers. We're going to stop right there. You see how scandalous and deceptive, and God's going to stop. That's why all this stuff is happening in this world. You understand? Because God's sick of it. You understand? You're lying about, you're stealing money. You're lying about being somewhere where you're not. So let me break this down. You're lying about being somewhere you're not, and then you're actually at work, but you're lying to get more money. So if you're willing to do that, you're willing to steal, cheat. Cheating means lying on papers, lying against somebody else, because they're going to be like, who are they going to believe? This, they think everybody's a criminal, but the real true criminals, judges, lawyers, police officers, sheriffs, PIs, them is the real criminals. They'll even set you up. They might have a dead body somewhere and they trying to get you with it. That's how dirty these people is. And they gonna pay. Each and every one of you gonna pay. I don't want the small guy. I want the big fish. That's who I want. I want the big fish. I want the big fish. I don't want the small guy. I want the big guys that kept messing with me. Y'all should have left me alone. The two officers alleged double billed Fort Rapids and the Columbus Division of Police on 29 days between January and May 2018. So this wasn't too long ago. It's 2023. So this didn't happen. So I'm telling you, it's a pattern, a corrupt pattern. They like hiring racist minions to do whatever they want. And then they brag. I'm going to break it down. I went to school with white people, and I never understood these people would keep saying like, oh, if I'm the police, I know all the drug dealers. I'm going to lock all y'all up, and I'm going to be the I thought they was playing. No, they was serious. They talked about how crooked they would be if they ever been a police officer. There was a couple black people, too, that said, oh, if I was a cop, oh, I'm going to be the crookedest cop ever. And I thought that was who they truly were. I thought they was just playing or just talking. No, they really mean that. These people is really crooked. The FBI and the Southern Ohio Public Corruption Task Force are committing to rooting out public corruption and working to ensure that those who abuse their law enforcement privileges are held accountable. I can't tell. Stated FBI Cincinnati Special Agent in Charge Chris Hoffman. We will continue to work with our partners to protect the citizens of the community and uphold their constitutional rights. The Columbus Division of Police continues to advocate for police accountability and strongly supports today's arrest on corruption charges against these former officers by the FBI and the Public Corruption Task Force, said Columbus Police Chief Thomas Quinlan. I commend the dedication and effectiveness of the partnership leading to today's arrest. Conspiracy to violate a person's civil rights is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Up to 10 years in prison. To all y'all people, because I know, I'm not saying everybody on here, but there's people on here watching and going relay. Just for all the crap, just by messing with somebody's civil rights, being a police officer under the color of law, that's just, that alone is 10 years. Not without the lies and the other stuff that you done did. That alone, breaking somebody's constitutional rights, civil rights, that's 10 years. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud carries a potential maximum sentence of 20 years. So y'all done broke that. That's 10 years. Now y'all doing wire fraud. That's 20. Y'all should do life. Y'all shouldn't. People that do stuff like this, you should get life because you knew better. When you took that oath, See, I'm going to break something down before I go any. Let me find out where I'm going to break something down before I go any further. I'm right there. See, if you pay attention to the police symbol, like if you go and see the symbol, not the badge symbol, the actual state of a seal symbol, and not every state has this. They have a church. If you pay attention, they got a church with the cross. You just got to look and pay attention to the signs. So we're going to do that. The cities that have their sign as it got a church and a cross and all that, what they don't understand, they're cursing themselves by you. When you take an oath, you put your hand on a Bible saying you swear that you ain't gonna never be dirty, and you this, and you got integrity, you got this, that, and the third. So now when you break that, once you become an officer, that's why everything's in haywire. Because it's people inside breaking stuff, and then they put their hand on the Bible, but then they go turn and do devil stuff, but they're supposed to be good people in front of all this community, but you're not good. You're not good. What you want to point the finger at, they gang up, pointing the finger at, defamating people's character, all that. David M. DeVillers, United States Attorney for Southern District of Ohio. Chris Hoffman, Special Agent in Charge, Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, Cincinnati Division. Columbus Police Thomas Quinlan, Franklin County Prosecutor Ron O'Brien, Ohio Attorney General David Yost, Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI Superintendent Joseph Bezer, Ohio Auditor of State Keith Faber announced the charges. The two former Columbus Police Department Vice Squad officers have been indicted by a federal grand jury for conspiring to violate others' civil rights and conspiring to commit wire fraud. So really, I'm going to stop right there because it's really pretty much saying everything else that I've already said. But these are the donkeys of the day. You see these donkeys? These are the donkeys of the day. So it's people, it's a covenant of people that's in the cults, and they coming together and they trying to lie on God's kid to the justice system, make fake documents to lie on somebody, to frame somebody, to bring you down, to bring me down. You understand? They'll go to any extreme, and then they go to extreme. A person that got money, they waste the money stupidly. You got the person that has somebody watching you. As soon as that people they've been watching you. So as soon as this other lady move, they're watching the move right next door, so they can be doing black magic, telling everybody what you doing, where you going. Corny, and I'm not scared. Just like in the Bible when dude said, "I'm willing to die for God." Are you? Yeah, I'm willing to die for Jehovah God. Is you? I'm just like Malcolm X. I'm not scared to die. You hear me? Not at all. Because what y'all don't realize, if you kill a chosen one, watch how this whole thing fall apart. It's going to be too late once the chosen. God's not going for you to keep doing chosen children of God like that. I'm telling you now, that's why it's getting worse. If y'all don't change from what y'all doing, it's going to get worse. And I'm not perfect. I still work on stuff. So I'm not going to sit here because I'm sitting here sound like I'm perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. But God knows what you got in your heart. You understand? He already knows who you are. So just trying to change, he's going to rock with you. But keep playing and doing dirty, devilish things behind closed doors. Watch. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah. To everybody that was tuned in to G-Man P, the Great TV, I appreciate it. And we coming with some more smoke the rest of this week. It's going to be all Ohio stuff. So I can kind of show y'all that I'm not tripping. What I'm talking about, I'm not no fool, and I'm not, because if you don't stand up for you, who gonna stand up for you? And that's the whole thing. Like, I seen somebody put on earlier, like, what does love mean? What does love mean to you? Love is loving yourself. That's what it means first. If you don't love God and yourself, you can't love nobody else. You got to love yourself first and God. Once you can love yourself and you loving yourself, then you can kind of, you know what I'm saying? But you got to love yourself and God first. That's love to me. So everybody that was tuned in, I appreciate it. To the ones that ain't, peace. We ain't doing no tripping.